Oof, hello, hello. This song is so chill. The Croft Manor song. You can just, if you want a chill afternoon, just turn this. Just put this on in the background. Not too loud. Oh. I actually should try that. Sounds pretty chill. Hello, everyone. Hello. How's everyone doing? How are we feeling? Oh. We have some stuff to talk about. Not that much, but you know, enough. Let's. There we go. Here we go. There's a little trailer that dropped today for a little game called Assassin's Creed Shadows. No, Sony's Assassin's Creed Shadows. Ghosts of Yotei. I don't know the correct pronunciation, but they just dropped a trailer out of nowhere, it seems. So let's take a peek, shall we? Oh, I don't know how the volume is. Sure, it's fine.
Unreal.
It might even be loud. Ooh.
A wandering spirit seeking vengeance.
What did it say? I was not looking at the screen and there was text on screen. Hold on. Oh, maybe subtitles? Can we do that?
A wandering spirit seeking vengeance.
What's this now? This is Sony's Assassin's Creed Shadows. Called Ghost of Yotei. To Rise to Ronin, yeah. Sony's The Ghost of the Assassin's Ronin. Rise of the Ghost of the Assassin of the Shadow Ronin.
Who are you? I thought we killed your whole family.
The snake.
The snake.
The Oni. The Kitsune.
Wait.
The spider. The dragon.
Are they... okay, I'm not gonna...
Saito.
What are we going to do with this one, Saito?
I'm sorry. It came to this, little wolf.
Yo, she's carrying the biwa for guitar.
Why do you always call me that?
It means one who is easily lost in the hunt.
Looks cool. I will say, look, I'm gonna play this. I love the original game.
I have to go home. Back where all
That's
this
cool.
started.
Yo, October 2nd. Nice. I will say it is unfortunate that it's at the end of the year, so maybe by then, you know, Assassin's Creed Shadows is going to be a little more in the back of my memory. But right now, when I'm looking at this stuff, you know, like especially this, like the environments and stuff, like, you know, I'm sure in game the visual fidelity is going to be higher than Assassin's Creed Shadows, but I don't think it's going to be by that much, because this visually, you know, with the YouTube compression, right? I don't think it looks leaps and bounds better. So it's kind of unfortunate. And then at the same time, it seems like this whole thing with the snake, the kitsune, whatever, it smells like they're doing the fucking bounty board from Assassin's Creed. Like, is this... Are we living in a weird Twilight Zone world where Sony is stealing their shit from Ubisoft? Like, what is happening here? What the heck? That's not okay. That's weird. But I mean, again, you know, I'm complaining about a bounty of riches because I'm having a blast with Assassin's Creed, and I'm sure I'm going to have a blast with this game because I'm definitely buying it. So I'm not going to play into the whole Shadows versus this game. Fuck that. I'm getting both. I'm double dipping, baby. The people who lose in this situation are the ones who are like, for whatever reason, hardline are like, I'm against this game because I love Assassin's Creed, or I'm against Assassin's Creed because this is my team. Fuck that. Are getting the €200 plastic toys edition? If there's a toys edition? Oh god. Wait, did they show that? Maybe they showed at the end. No limits, especially on your wallet. Hold on, is there more information? Hold on, I thought it was just a trailer. Hold on. My guess is PlayStation blog, probably. They probably have some shit there. Here we go. Ghosts of Utah. Can you guys see that? You can. You got eyes. The wall scroll edition, I'm assuming. I mean, maybe. Of course it's in the fucking headline. It's in the what's this called? Like is it the byline? What's it called? The headline and the whatever. Header number 2. Header 2. Subhead? Damn. That sounds like subhead also sounds like people who love subwoofers. You know, they're like really into subwoofers. They're like, oh, he's a subhead. Dude, we are fucking feasting. If you're a weeb, you're feasting, dude. And I'm feasting. I am feasting. Hunting them down. Just like Assassin's Creed. It's kind of like, do they have one fucking story? Like, oh, Japan, I guess we need to do a fucking list of enemies with, you know, masks and names attached to those masks. Pick which member you want to hunt down first. All right. Wait, hold on. Do we have background music from the game? I can do that. I actually can't hear it myself. It's only for you guys. There you go. You have some background noise. I actually don't know. It's probably the... What's playing? The main menu music? Great. Good shit. New skills? No shit. You can learn skills? Wow. Pre-orders will begin next week. Pricing added. They didn't even add it first. Okay, so pre-order, you get an avatar set and an in-game mask. Whoa. I'll be running to the store. Standard edition. Oh, this is digital deluxe. Okay. There is no physical deluxe. God, I'm so tired of this bullshit. Like, dude, come on. Either give a shit about all your customers or fucking cut us off, right? If you're gonna fuck physical buyers all day, all week, fucking, dude, just stop, all right? If you're gonna fuck us all day, just stop already. I'm so tired of like, oh, you want the physical copy? Well, fuck you, bitch. It's so ass. And like so many companies do this and they don't give a shit. Like if you're lucky, there's like a deluxe upgrade edition, so you can like buy the physical copy and get the digital deluxe stuff for like $10. But there's plenty of examples where it's like, well, we have a digital deluxe version and those items are just logged behind that version. If you buy physical, guess fucking what? You need to buy the whole ass edition. It's not even in season passes and shit. Horse color, saddle dye. Oh wait, what? Is that what you get? That's kind of sad. Armor dye and a charm. The snake armor. I mean, you get an actual armor. Horse and saddle. Ooh. Ooh. I mean, I'm not gonna say one game versus the other, but guess in which game you can just get horse skins and armor skins for free. So I guess you probably can as well in this game, right? It's just a bonus one. It's just a bonus one. Here we go, Collector's Edition. They are committing to this horseshit, huh? They are committing to this horseshit of making an expensive box without the fucking game. Again, just fucking stop physical then. If you're gonna treat physical edition like some kind of, you know, bullshit thing you have to do because, you know, you still technically support it. Like, we know it's on the way out. Just commit to it. Oh shit, what do we think the price is gonna be? It's gonna be above 200. Dude, if Death Stranding with just like some random shit and a figurine was like over 200, this has to be as well, right? It has a sash. Yo! It has... Why does it have the same thing as Assassin's Creed? I mean, the jokes, it writes itself, you know? It's... Art cards, I mean, just like Assassin's Creed. The cock ring, exactly. Papercraft. Papercraft, so it's like, okay, cardboard. Coin, game, and pouch. Coin game. So, oh, there's probably like a mini game and you get the game. That's funny. That's funny. If this is not too expensive, but at the same time, it's gonna be too expensive. It's gonna be too expensive for what it is. And coin game, what the fuck is coin game? It's probably like checkers or some shit. What the oh, come on, dude. They have to be joking. $250 for this? Man, the good old days are over, boys. There really was a time where collector's editions was like, you know, fairly affordable for what you got, you know? That is crazy, dude. Like, I remember old man talking. Hold on, old man talking. I remember buying some of the Assassin's Creed collector's editions, like from the figurines you see back there. I have like a bunch that came with collector's editions. They were like, you know, 120, 150 max, right? Sure, they went up in price over time, as all this shit does, you know? But man, the mask, I mean, I guess there's a market for it. At the same time, you can still buy the Death Stranding collector's edition, even though it's supposedly limited, you know? And here's the thing, plenty of people love Death Stranding, right? And still people are not buying it. So people are just priced out of this shit now. And also digital. I think for a lot of people, at least for me, the idea of like the collector's edition is supposed to be, in my opinion, the ultimate, like, you get physical bullshit edition, right? Like, usually I'm just after a cool figurine. That's usually what I'm going for. But you know, if you get like a whack-ass wall scroll or some shit, I'll take it, you know, if it's fun. But you know what the ultimate physical goodie is? The fucking game. How? God, thank God Assassin's Creed was still in the fucking box. They better not stop that. You know, Ubisoft better be fucking, you know, against this shit. But they probably won't be. This shit is only gonna get more normalized. I don't know. Wasn't there a game where they did a collector's edition and it just didn't even include the game at all? Right, they're like, here's just a box of goodies you can buy. The collector's edition of the game, minus the game, of course. Wait, wasn't that Sony as well? Wasn't that a fucking, what's the game called? With the robot dinosaurs. Fuck, how am I blanking on the name? Horizon. Wasn't that Horizon? Didn't they do that? The gameless collector's edition of the game? Digital copy of the game. Side note. What's the side note? Digital items available via voucher, internet connection, and a PlayStation Network required to redeem. The mask is built to scale with Jin's mask from our Ghost of Tsushima collector's edition. Oh. I guess that makes sense if they already did a mask. I don't even remember for Ghost of Tsushima. The way I'm looking at it, even the deluxe collector, the deluxe edition shit, like the armor doesn't in particular look cool. I mean, it's a cool color scheme, the purple, but if it's not available physical, why would I bother? So I'm probably just gonna buy it. Dude, literally, I mean, for this game, I might have splurged if there was like a physical deluxe edition. You know, I don't need this stuff, but I would take a bundle with the digital extra stuff. Death Stranding thing, I was the target audience, and I'm not in. So for 2 games in a row now, the way they've set it up and priced it, I went from, I'm willing to spend extra to, yeah, I'm just gonna buy the standard. They've done that for 2 games now, so well played, Sony. Well played. You know, well done. Well done. Oh, that's so disappointing. Like, I'm sure some people are perfectly fine with it, you know, especially if you have like a digital PlayStation and you don't give a shit about physical games anymore. And to be fair, I feel like, you know, as much as I want to harp on, you know, I like having my collection behind me, you know, I can browse, or like when people come over, they can browse it. It's like a fun thing. At the same time, I 100% recognize the PlayStation 6 and onwards, they're not gonna have this drive. You know, I know, you know, we all know. They're pushing so hard to get rid of it. I think the next generation is when they're gonna fucking... Which sucks for physical buyers, because, you know, if the next console is gonna be able to play the old games, well, I guess not then. Woof. Woof. Unless they sell like a USB disk drive. The game looks cool though, you know, the game looks cool. The product, especially the collectors, again, I'm sure if you have the original mask, probably cool to have two of them. $250 though, without the game. I mean, the digital game, sure, but who cares? It's not the game. That's wag, dude. What is the asking price for the game? 80 euro. 80? What is happening, dude? 80 for the standard game. That's crazy, dude. So that's 170 for all of this without the game. 170 for the mask and the set. See, here's the thing. If you're into collectibles and stuff, like if it's well done, the mask, you know, 170 euros isn't even that crazy of a price, you know, considering these days the prices of figurines and stuff is out of control as well if you buy them separately. So, you know, in a weird way, this isn't the worst price, but it's still a lot, you know, considering it is not like handmade, like it's just mass produced stuff, right? So, Well, in any case, that was a little segment Go Yoto. I mean, I'm excited for the game. I'm glad it's at the end of the year, because again, this year was kind of like, oh, Assassin's Creed's coming out. If this game comes out close to it, that's gonna be ass. Even if you like both of the games, it's probably not fun to play them both back to back. Seems insane to me. They want some breathing room in between, which is fine. So, good job. October though. I mean, yeah, that's a good period. That's a good time. Alright, what else do I want to talk about? Until Dawn, the movie. Not much to say about this other than it's coming out in 2 days, apparently. I'm watching it this weekend and I'm excited for it because, get this, you might be like, what the fuck? They're making a movie, right? That might be, you know, that might be your reaction right now. It's also like this weird, you know, it's a video game that is a homage to horror movies, and now they're gonna make a movie based on the game that's a homage to the movies, right? So you're like, this can never go well. But I'm not gonna watch the trailer because movie trailers is a little bit of a nightmare on streaming to watch those. I mean, I guess if you only stream on Twitch, you can probably get away with it. But on YouTube, they will not let that shit slide. So, I'm not watching the trailer, but I'm intrigued by the plot because the setup is similar-ish. You know, like, oh, group of friends, they meet like in the cabin in the snowy mountains, yada yada, right? But then it's entirely different from the games where like the characters get stuck in like a time loop, Groundhog Day kind of shit. And I really don't know that much more about it other than I'm assuming, and I don't know yet because I haven't watched it yet, I'm assuming they are gonna use some of the game stuff, but, you know, like in the time loop shit. Instead of like it just recreating the plot of the game in a movie, I think they're gonna take elements from all kinds of different stuff and just add it into this, like, oh, they wake up in a different time. Like, I don't know how that's gonna work, but I'm glad that they didn't just do the games as a movie, because I think we'll just play the games. They're basically movies, right? So I'm glad they're doing something different, and I'm genuinely excited for it. I'm watching it this Saturday. I will report back next week if it's ass or not. That's all I have to say about it. But I love Until Dawn, so you know, I want to say one of my favorite games. That might be a little too high praise, because there's a lot of better games that I love more. But it definitely has a special place for me, because it's that first game in that genre which I came to really like. And it was really good. It's still one of the better ones they've done. Only thing that I could save this is if they shot 5 versions of the movie. They have different ones for different screenings. That would be crazy. That would be sick though. And then you have a reason to buy the Blu-ray because it has all the versions. Would actually be funny. Do normals even know this is a license thing? Probably not. Probably when they're in theater and the PlayStation Studios logo pops up, that's when they'll know. Like, oh, this is a PlayStation thing, huh? Weird. Yeah, probably most people will not know, but that also might be a blessing in disguise. Clue movies from the 80s had different endings in different theaters. That's sick. That's kind of like how now on Netflix there's like a new season of Black Mirror, and there's like one episode that's, without spoiling, it's like about gaslighting. But then they also made multiple versions, or like they made at least 2 versions where, you know, in each version there's like a different detail. So depending on which one you get, you know, you might be like, you know, if you haven't caught on to it, you know, maybe people online were like, what is he talking about? It's this. And then a weird multicut for syndication on video for Clue. That's, I mean, I like that kind of stuff when they like do fun shit. Anyway, the tagline is also every night, hold on, every night a different nightmare. So I'm assuming they're like in this loop, and I don't know if they're gonna directly go to the games. It would be cool if the characters, you know, every night they just land in the next game. I guess here's the thing though, Until Dawn is a Sony thing, and that's the only one. The dark picture stuff, that's kind of separate from this, so they can, I mean, will they? Probably not, but I mean, it's a cool idea. I like the idea. It's different than the game, and that makes me happy. Hopefully it's good. I like a good horror movie, so I'm excited. Then I was looking at I was still looking for some good gameplay footage because I was watching Maximilian talk about this. By the way, 2XKO, there's just been a beta, alpha, whatever. Let's open Sajam's thing here.
Oh, there's...
Shut up. Also, shout out to Sajam, right? But I was looking at some of this footage and like... Maybe I will use the sound. Wait, you guys still have the game music. Hold on. This is like from his live stream.
Oh, I should just launch her there, I think.
I have a bias. I'm not a fan of Marvel vs. Capcom assist fighters in general. Like I tried Marvel vs. Capcom. I think 3 is one I played. I tried like the Power Rangers game. It's not for me. This game has been hyped. You know, the savior of fighting games, yada yada, all that stuff. Riot is gonna, you know, they're gonna save the FGC or whatever. This kind of looks like garbage. I don't know. This kind of looks ass. I I don't know. This looks so ass,
Oh,
dude.
no,
I don't
back.
know.
Don't hurt me.
Like, come on. I don't.
Oh my god.
This looks like Fortnite, the fighting game. I don't know how else to put it. It looks so. You know, to use the online grifters verbiage. This is a game for modern audiences. All right. That's the word they like to use, you know, to conceal their fucking hateful spew. But, you know, I mean it in like I guess the actual meaning of the word. This is a very current day interpretation, I guess,
What is she saying?
of this kind of stuff. I don't know. It looks so.
Oh no.
It looks so not good. It looks all flash, no substance. I don't know. I'm making a judgment call based on like watching gameplay, but nothing about this is screaming to me, oh, I need to check this out. You know? Now, I will check it out because it's gonna be free to play. Might as well give it like an hour. But I can't imagine. I mean, you know what? It's gonna be like a stream. I'll play it on one stream, and unless the gameplay by the time this ever comes out is like super captivating, I can't see myself playing this at all. Like ever. This looks so. I don't know. It's, you know, look, I don't want to yuck anyone's yum. If you think this looks sick,
wait, this person is
you know, that's your opinion. To me, this looks whack. This looks unappealing. If you would do this alone, this gameplay alone is like, oh, maybe I'm not even gonna bother downloading it. It just, you know, maybe it's the hype. Maybe it got hyped up a little too much. But I don't know. It just, I don't know. What do you guys? What do you? I want to hear about what you guys are thinking right now, because I feel like I'm on a planet on my own. I don't hear anyone complaining about this really. Like I'm hearing people complain about some of the gameplay stuff, but everyone seems to be very into it, and I can't bring myself to give a single fuck about this game at all.
Oh, all the way down. They were punishable all the way down.
I mean, you know what I think? Yeah, it's 2D, so ass. I honestly feel nothing. I have zero interest to even boot this up ever.
I messed it up.
Yeah, like, yeah, for me, it's really gonna be like, the gameplay has to be like exceptional to keep me hooked, because visually, just how it looks, how it seems to play, nothing about this is interesting to me. This does not tickle. There's, you know, from all the characters I've seen gameplay of this weekend, there's nothing that I'm like, oh, that's a cool character. Like, there's just, I don't think there's anything for me here. I don't think there's anything for me here.
Well. That shit is hard. Let me look at the hard challenges.
And maybe the weirdest thing, like, at least that's what I'm gathering from people like Maximilian and stuff, is that compared to the first alpha, they've changed quite a bit. And apparently, you know, some people had some complaints in the current alpha. They already mentioned they were going to change stuff. And it's, you know, and that is a complaint some people do have already who are kind of in on it. Is that they seem to be focusing a lot on what the people want, to the point where it kind of feels like they're abandoning their own vision of what the game should be. And they're just like completely changing stuff and whatever because people complain. And, you know, I don't, you know, when is this game going to come out? That's the question, I guess. It feels like they've been cooking this for so long already. You know, there's been hype for it for so long. I think there must be people like me who are just burned out on, you know, it's going to be so fucking sick. Not seeing anything that's different to me from any other 2D fighting game. Yup. It just looks like any other 2D fighting game, right?
Are hard. Win a game with random select.
Except Fortnite. The graphics are just less unique, I guess. Because these are just if I didn't know this was based on League of Legends, you could tell me these are Fortnite characters, I would have believed you. Right? Like, absolutely. I play it if some lady wants to spend time with me, and it's the only way. But that's about it. Yeah, and it's also great confirmation that she's not for you. Like, oh, you like this? I mean, it means she liked fighting games, which, I mean, I love Goku from Fortnite. Yeah, I can fix her, introduce her to the one and true best game. DOA 2. Anyway, for a game that's been hyped this much, the more I see from it, like gameplay wise, I'm like, Again, it's free to play. If there's nothing else happening at a time, might as well. It'll make for a stream, right? I guess. But that's probably going to be the extent of it. I can't imagine. Again, the gameplay must be so amazingly exciting that I would stick to it. I can't imagine, dude. Because it doesn't look like it's super exciting or like super special compared to other 2D fighting games. Anyway, let's talk about actual exciting shit. Here's a little announcement that at EVO Japan 2025, which I believe is in like a week or two. It's soonish. It's definitely soonish. I think it's in like a week or two. There's a DOA 6 side tournament. And every DOA tournament, especially offline, that's exciting because that is some sick gameplay we can look forward to. That's the news. Other than they fucking removed Kasumi to add Mai. What's this shit? What's this? Why is Kasumi not here? Why is Mai here? She's not even from the game. What are we doing? What are we doing? Oh, here. Wait, is this? Hold on. How do the Japanese put their dates? I'm assuming this is the day. Is EVO Japan in October? That better be Year Monday. Yeah. That would still make sense. The only date notation that doesn't make sense is the American one. I mean, let's be honest. Month first? Are you crazy? In what unit? Have you ever put the date in a file name? Disgusting. It says 510 then 511, so unless EVO Japan is a month, that's true though. Yeah, less than an entire month. Yeah, so it's in 2 weeks from now, right? Yeah, that's in 2 weeks, the weekend. Nice. This is actually, as someone who on a computer, this is the most sensible way to write a date, by the way. Year, month, day. That's the most sensible way. It is what it is. It is what it is. Yapping time, it's almost over. We've been through everything. I guess one thing that I kind of want to bring up, because it's something I saw over the weekend in passing. It was one of those things where I think I saw it on Twitter and like I read it, went on with my day, and like today I was like, man, I should pull that up. I can't find it anymore. So it's like one of those things where people just talking, right? But the thing was, there was like was it a content creator? Someone, I think it was a content creator, was like, oh man, I've been playing DOA because they were like tired of Tekken or whatever, playing DOA 5 on stream. They're like, oh man, it's been really fun. So what's bad about DOA 6? That's what he asked. Like, what's bad about DOA 6? And then the comments were like, like the replies, you get the usual, oh, but it has meter and the ground game and, whatever, right? They just point and name the thing. And then this content creator did the unthinkable. He asked, okay, but what about it is bad? Right? And then basically it turned into every person who just said the meter, the ground game, the whatever, the sidestep, right? When they were asked to elaborate what about it they found bad, they just couldn't answer. They're like, I'm gonna have to, maybe you should ask Emery Reigns, or like some shit like that always. And it kind of struck me as like, wait, I think people just hating. They just don't know what they hate. They just point. Was it Mike Hollow? Possible. Very possible. It struck me as funny that, like, they have like, it's almost like they have the talking point ready, but like when they actually have to elaborate. So what about the ground game do you not like in 6? Or it's better in 5. Yeah, but like what's bad about 6? Like at the very least have an answer ready, dude. Kind of funny to me. People hated DOA 6 5 years ago, so it's not like the reasoning is fresh. But I don't care. Even if you've been hating on the game for 5 years and you can't say why, that's crazy to me. Like, form your own thoughts and opinions, people. If you just hear your favorite content creators say, well, actually the ground game's bad, don't go around and spread that. Think about, at least listen to them why they don't like it and just be parrot with that opinion. At least that's how I think about it. I think it was also on that trend that Excalibur Blades did like a whole, what he thought, it was fairly interesting to read his point of view. It was one part, oh god, I'm gonna have to look this up, hold on. Cause like there's a thing that I keep seeing brought up and I just very much disagree, but I'm also not a pro player, but also I don't think pro players are necessarily the, the omega source of truth on everything or whatever. Let's see, how am I gonna fucking find this? I guess I'll just search Mike Hollow. I guess that's probably where we're gonna go. Oh man, he tweets a lot. Fuck. Oh, here we go. I forgot about that. This fucker typed it out in notes and then like made a video of him scrolling through it. Like, I mean, it works, but that's a way of putting it. Let's see here. Boom. Oh boy. So he just wrote this whole thing. Now, to be fair, it's interesting. You should. I feel like it's a fun read. You know, a little bit out of the history of the sidestep attack and all that stuff. You know what? I'll go over it and I'll give my opinion on each of the points. Right? Maybe that's a fun thing. Yeah, I guess this is also a good point. That no matter what your criticism about 6 is, the core is still DOA, and I feel like if you like DOA gameplay in general, you'll probably still play DOA 6 over like Tekken or whatever else, you know? You might have preferences of like maybe 5 is better than 6, whatever, but you'll still, if someone's like, hey, we can play DOA 6 or 2XKO, which one you want to play? You're like, yeah, let's do DOA 6. So I think that's already a good point to begin with. Oh god, what's with this quality, Twitter? The moment I browse, it's gonna go to shit. Oh man. Oh man. Excuse me. So yeah, talking about the sidestep stuff. You know, we're all DOA players here. We know what happened between DOA 5 and 6. I'm fully in agreement here. I feel like the DOA 6 sidestep attack thing, it's just dog shit. It's like, really, at the end of the day, it's just dog shit. They should have just not touched it. Like, literally just having a sidestep and having like a punch and a kick option was perfectly fine. And it would have, I mean, I don't know. I feel like they could have made it work perfectly well in DOA 6, you know? And yes, like the unlimited, before it cost meter, the unlimited sidestep, you know, the unlimited availability of it was dog shit. Because it had invincibility stuff, and you could get away with a lot of stuff, you know, especially early on. Characters like, for example, Mary Rose, that didn't have like good tracking options to punish it, or like to play some kind of mind games. They were just fucked, right? And I feel like that would be, you know, I feel like they should have kept the DOA 5 system of sidestep and the sidestep attacks, plural, you had, not the weird new ones, and just, you know, made proper moves, you know, made it, you know, just made it properly, right? Just, you know, sidestep is an option, but there's also counters against it. That should have just been designed, but maybe, you know, who knows why they did it. Maybe it's part of the whole, we need to make things more simple. Can confirm removing tracking from stuff claims. Yeah, take everything with a grain of salt, especially when, you know, no matter how good a player is, it doesn't necessarily mean they have like deep insight in what the developers were thinking and changing and whatever, right? So yeah, if, you know, you can claim, you know, stuff was changed in terms of tracking and stuff, but that may or may not be true. Most tracking property on strings were taken out. Is this true? It doesn't feel like it's necessarily true. I think sidestep attack was just too strong. You know, because like if you just do a sidestep without the sidestep attack, a lot of strings will re-track, no? Because if not, doing a sidestep without the sidestep attack would be fucking sick as well. And that's definitely not the case. Most is wild. I mean, you know, he's replying to a tweet. This is not like a big, well scripted out, get all the details correct, right? He's just making and he's saying this, we're analyzing this now. he's saying this to someone who has no real experience with DOA. So, you know, I understand if he's gonna, you know, maybe not go too in depth, maybe cut some corners with like most and some and what, you know, whatever. We know better, so let's just assume, you know, let's assume good faith. All right. But anyway, like the general point I think stands where I feel like the sidestep attack stuff in DOA 6, it was just a bad change. It was fucked from the start. They tried to fix it by making a cost meter. But just the concept of the sidestep attack is fucked to begin with. And it is kind of whack if you look at other 3D fighting games. All of them have some kind of, you know, vertical movement. So, you know, it's they should have just kept it the way it is. Rare opinion from Forge. They should have kept it as it was in DOA 5. It was genuinely better. And I think, here's the thing, it is obvious in 6 when you're playing against characters or playing with characters that have like their own special kind of sidestep with multiple options from it. You can immediately see how useful it is, how it gets out of situations that other characters now cannot, you know, compared to the previous games. So it's kind of ass. It's kind of ass the way it is. The ability mess with the strings would protect. Yeah, so he's basically saying like it's not like they were overpowered in 5. You still had to know when you need to sidestep, because shit retracts, or there's like tracking moves in the strings. So, you know, it's not like it was some kind of silver bullet in 5. And he's talking a lot about sidestep. I forgot how much about sidestep he's talking. Whoa, 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 don't scroll so fast. Oh yeah, so this is a big block of text, but he's also touching on stagger escaping. Stagger escaping was the most important piece keeping the game put together, in my opinion. This is hard fucking disagree. Alright? I know stagger escape, there's stagger escape apologists. I get it. Is he a real DOA player? Yes. Yes. He's a... I don't know how much he plays nowadays. I'm sure he still plays, right? But he's definitely been a high-level player for a long time. So yeah. I hard disagree on stagger escape. To me, stagger escaping is busy work. Like it doesn't really add anything to the game. The only thing it adds, so this is my issue with stagger escape. The only thing it adds to the game is that if you don't know about it, if you're a low, like if you're not a high level player, high level players will have an easier time beating you. That's basically it. That's the only thing it does. Because at the high level, everyone was just stagger escaping all the fucking time anyway. So realistically, you know, and this is what happened. Look at any fucking combo video or any guide video from the DOA 5 days. What's the first thing you would learn? Oh, here's a stun setup that's not stagger escapable. You just learn those. And it's not like, you know, there would be a small argument to be made if it's like, well, every character has like 1 or 2, you know, like lines that you cannot stagger escape, but everything else you can. So if they went for the non-stagger escape option, it was predictable, right? You can hold it still, yada, yada, yada. But that wasn't the case at all. there was plenty of non-stagger escapable options, at least from what I remember. Or maybe I was just playing broken characters. But like to say this is like it. To me, stagger escaping was just punishing, you know, people who didn't do it. Whereas once both players did it, it just stopped mattering. You know, that's kind of like if both players do it, it just doesn't matter anymore. Because both players do it. It's division by the same number. And yeah, his argument, again, if you know how to stagger escape, you can narrow down the moves that you need to use to continue the stun, make it easier to read a hold. Basically like, oh, because there's only a select amount of routes you can take for, you know, like unescapable stagger escape stun loops, right? You had an easier time fishing for which hold you need to do. But, you know, I feel like that's more of a theory than in practice argument. I think in practice, the stagger escape, the options that you couldn't stagger escape were varied enough that it doesn't really matter, you know? This mechanic is controversial. Yeah, because it sucks ass. Look, everyone can have their opinion, right? Let's not be too harsh. He can have his opinion if he really likes it, but I think if you sit down and you look at the numbers of it, I think it's gonna come down to it's kind of irrelevant, and removing it isn't really an issue. I don't think it really has changed much, other than it's now, you know, now people who don't stagger escape are on the same level as you, instead of, you know, low level players just getting their shit kicked in because they don't know about it. It'd be less shit if there were a few specific stuns that you can stagger escape at everything. To me, it always comes down to like, what are we gaining? Like in terms of like options or mind games, or like, because a lot of DOA is about the mind games and the options you have from certain positions and stuff. Like, what does stagger escape really give you extra? You know, other than the theoretical example of it forces players to choose for specific moves that you can't escape, so your hold options are less. Like, if your options to hold are 1 in 3 still, like if you have 3 different options, it's probably the same as anything else. I think there's other ways to accomplish the benefit he's describing. You want a reason for people to be predictable on offense. Yeah, and I get that. It's just a really bad way of doing it. And I don't think the result in practice actually aligns with the idea. I think the non-stagger escapable options are still plenty enough that, you know, there's no real way of predicting a hold more than any other, you know. Because like in a way it also doesn't even make sense, because like if you're gonna hold, you're gonna hold anyway. Like it doesn't even matter. Like if you make the decision to hold, you're locked in anyway. Man, I hard disagree on stagger escape. You have to get right for the person spinning the offense. It's the same. Yeah, and then harping on the break hold. You get out of the situation for free, which is, I mean, look, I have my gripes with Breakhold as well. Calling it getting out of the situation for free when it's to a point almost the exact same mix-up, right? Like with Stagger Escape, either you hold for a unstagger escapable move, or you block to anticipate that they do a move that you're stagger escaping out of. And a Breakhold, you either, you know, you either throw it, or like you either do the Breakhold or you, I guess, don't do it, anticipating that they would whatever. It's, I don't know. It feels like a little contrived. Breakhold has its issues though. What I do think, you know, the most toxic thing about this mechanic is that it's side swapped, which I kind of agree. That's kind of, you know, I'm so used to it at this point that I don't really think about it that much. It is kind of ass, you know? It is kind of ass that it's side switches, you know? Because, you know, there's really situations, yeah, if you're in the corner and you just Breakhold, now they're in the corner. And like, not only, like, I think Breakhold conceptually should be like, hey, I have no way out, or I don't know the way out, and to offset my lack of knowledge, or, you know, trying to play it a little more safe, you know, for me to have an umbrella of catching more options, there should be something opposed to that, right? Which in the Oasika's case is you spent meter. Not nearly enough in my opinion, but whatever, right? But to then also put you in the advantageous position in the corner, it's kind of like, like that's kind of unnecessary, right? Like, I agree that it should be something that puts you back into neutral. I think you should still be in the corner if you've been pushed in the corner. And in the current system, it would definitely cost an entire meter, you know? Meter just fills too fast for it to, you get too many Breakholds in an entire match. Ground game. It's another one. Ground game was taken away entirely. There's no ground game anymore. Leaving kicks unchecked and buffed with increased range as well. Not sure on that. That could be true. I don't actually know. Not a person who made a mistake can make you guess on their wake up, with the addition of worrying about if it will wake up and mash. There's no way to get someone off the floor after a combo or a random knockdown because it gives you invuln the moment you touch the ground. You get a wall splat. The meta in 6 after a combo is to reset neutral or 3-way gets. You decide to stand over them. Actually, the most ridiculous thing about 6. I mean, it can be better. All right, let's start with that. My opinion is the ground game. There's definitely, you know, there's more things you can play around with. Ground game was awful pre 1.19. The two guesses aren't in the attacker's favor even after 1.19. Yeah, I think Oki is. Oki is I feel weird about Oki, like, you know. I'm not sure the attacker should be in the advantage, nor the defender, by the way. I think strong ground game in the attacker's favor lends itself to like heavy rush down stuff where You know, they just keep going in on an opponent. It's tough, right? I would say from purely a theoretical point of view, not even talking about DOA now, purely theoretical Oki game, the way I would see it is that the attacker definitely should initiate, right? Or should have the option to initiate, but there should also be options enough for the defender to get out of it, you know? As in, you know, at very least get back to neutral. I don't, you know, you can include options for the defender to take, you know, their turn the upper ground again, but the upper hand underground. The upper hand, right? But that should be rare and super risky. But I wouldn't want the attacker to just have like a default advantage just on the, you know, on the virtue of already having a successful combo. You know, it's if Oki is too much in the favor of the attacker, it definitely can feel like a win more mechanic, which I think you should always try to avoid. Ground game getting taken away probably means all the extra situations where they could wake up kick for free. Za is correct about you should be vulnerable on the ground. As soon as you could get up and choose not. I mean, I do agree with that, you know. If you choose to not get up, the attacker should have the turn, if you will, right? They should have the turn. But should they automatically have, you know, like an advantage or like a setup to a new combo? I don't know. I don't know. For DOA specifically, I do feel like the attacker should have an option to get you off the ground, you know, whereas you're being put into a defensive position again. Not automatically into like a new stun or a new combo, obviously, but DOA 6 feels weird because I don't feel like it, like even the thing they have now feels like it's so rarely appropriate to actually use, right? Like it, I don't know. It very rarely seems to matter that you can get someone off the ground. Some characters have some setups for it, but those are far and few in between, feels like. You have to guess right twice as the attacker. Yeah. Do we feel like Wake Up Kick should just be more risky? You know? Like considering how strong Wake Up Kick currently is, should it just be way worse? You know? Or like way more risky? Like imagine if Wake Up Kick is automatically, you know, like every character can punish it, and the first hit after, you know, like if you punish a Wake Up Kick, you get like high counter damage, you know. Mid Wake Up Kick doesn't need to be unsafe. Oh shit, midway. Are we going back to mid and high Wake Up Kick? Oh. I do feel like, let's say there is a new DOA on the horizon or whatever. Ground game is definitely one of those things where, like, I feel like it's a tricky balance. I feel like, you know, and I think everyone feels it. If you inch it a little too far to the defender side, it feels fucked. If you push it a little far to the attacker side, it feels fucked. It's like, it's really dancing on the blade of a razor. Because nobody likes, like, if the Oki game is always in the attacker's favor, that just sucks, you know? They just keep ruffle stomping you. Nice millennial wording there, but whatever. They just keep having at it. That sucks. But, you know, I can definitely see the whole, as the attacker, you're kind of fucked in the OA6 in a lot of cases, right? Like, it's not, you know, usually when someone's on the ground and you don't do a specific setup towards waking up, you're just gonna back off or like, or play Tamaki and do like fucking 9k. That's probably the solution, boys. Just play Tamaki and fucking do the stupid kick. They should absolutely steal my ground game. Oh shit. I'm not up to date on how it currently works in ++. Only free wake-up cakes are if you get a collapsing stun and don't convert on your +30. But yeah, it's interesting to me. It's interesting to me where I think I'm less harsh on DOA 6 in general than most people. But I can see, it's funny sidestepping. Fully agree that sidestep is an issue in 6. They fucked that up bad. And he's like, oh, one of the biggest things is fucking stagger escape. To me, it's like, man, I'm 180 on that. I hate stagger escape, and I don't think it adds anything to the game. And then ground game, I recognize it's not good in 6. I don't know. I honestly wouldn't know what to do with ground game. I'm a bad person to ask that. You know, I feel like, at least to me, in a lot of fighting games, it is way too favorable for the attacker, which I'm not a fan of. You know, like, if I had to put a number on it, you know, let's say like 50-50 would be like both the attacker and the defender, like on the ground, have equal amounts of options and advantages. That wouldn't be okay for me. The attacker obviously needs to have an edge. I would say 60-65 towards the attacker, but really not higher, you know? They need to have, you know, I almost want to say just first turn. They need to have like the first deciding factor in it, but that's it, you know? They don't necessarily need to have the upper hand from the get-go the whole time. They should have a parry evade animation if you whiff into someone standing up. Oh, like if you whiff a wake-up kick. To begin with, standing up is minus because you can start an attack while they're getting up. Yeah, I mean, to me, that's like, you know, that's part of the advantage the attacker gets, because of course he gets it. Right? The attacker definitely needs some advantage, right? The other guy's on the floor after all. I guess you could always make a wake up kick like not invulnerable. Like just any mid interrupts it. Any mid or low, just like Soul Calibur lets you be hit on the ground, but you can also block from the ground with look shit. Yeah, Soul Calibur's weird when it comes to that. It really is like the first option is, are you gonna recover quick or not? Right? I guess that's the first deciding factor. And I feel like if you decide to quickly get up, you know, the worst that happens to you is like the attacker has like some extra plus frames because they can already input something. Maybe, maybe not, depends on the move they do, right? Which also takes care of some moves just put you on the ground, so it removes that option, yada yada yada. There's like, that's step one always. I think that's fine. Once you're on the ground, I definitely feel like actually it's a tough fucking thing, right? Because I feel like it's the attacker's turn when you're sitting on the ground, but then the wake up kick beats that, of course. Huh. Maybe mid should just beat wake up kicks. I'm just gonna be honest. Maybe mid should just beat wake up kicks. But then if they stay down, the mid whiffs, right? So it's like there's still a little game going on there. I don't know, dude. Leave it to fucking game developers. I could see making wake up kicks vulnerable frames sooner, but not during the whole startup. Yeah, either... I feel like this is where my brain is currently at, right? I feel like wake up kicks... You know, rather than being too strong, I guess, it's probably that they just beat too many options at the same time. Like, if you do a wake up kick, like your opponent is not, you know, you take away their ability to get you up. It's also, depending on the character, very hard to even get an advantageous position out of that, because like if you block it, you just go back to neutral probably. I guess you can hold it, but then you're kind of just back in the okay position, so fucking, you know. I think wake up kick is just too... It just forces situations too much. I guess that's the best way to put it. It forces situations too oppressively. And I think it being invulnerable is part of that. Wake kicks also always lose to 2P2K. Block a wake up kick, it's your turn at +5 or whatever. Do wake up kicks now always lose to 2P2K? Like, is that now in the current day a thing in 6? It's probably one of those things where in a match I do it subconsciously. But once you have to like actually think about it, I wouldn't be able to say. What did you text them in the store? Oh, you mean like the chops down and stuff like that, like the actual ground, the grounded attacks. Are you talking about those? Not like the little chop you can do like with Kasumi and stuff. Okay, solution. Give everyone a 2T, a ground throw. That's escapable. Huh? 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 Everyone gets 2T, but it's escapable. And only characters like Tina and stuff, they get like other ground throws that are unescapable and better. Huh? So if they want to stay down, you can just do... Everybody gets ground throws. Let's fucking go! I don't like throw breaks. That's crazy. No throw breaks at all? That's crazy. Second players lost their minds, but I kind of like throw chip. I don't know, man. Ground game is I feel like that's a tough one. At least on my end, right? I don't think there's many games where I feel like the ground game is like perfect. Actually, I don't think I can name a single game where I'm happy with the ground game. It always feels lopsided to one of the two. It is what it is. Don't like getting the first part of a chain throw, and when I say throw breaks, I mean like having throws not work at all. Chain throws should be escapable, of course. Yeah, but at the same time, I feel like, you know, if you continue with my idea, if you give every character a low throw, like a ground throw, and they're all unescapable, that is, I mean, it could work, but it also, you know, in the current system, it is a little bit of the identity of some characters like Tina and whatever, that they have the option where other characters do not. Right? So you would have to kind of like find a solution to that. Oh my god. I have no idea where we are. Oh my god. Oh, I can vaguely remember. I think didn't we just like finish the puzzle and then I'm gonna trust past me to finish a puzzle like this because I knew I wouldn't come back to it soon. Whoa, 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 whoa. Are they coming down here? Guess not. I think ground and air throws are probably not a good thing to be universal. Yeah. I was just thinking of like, you know, obviously a ground throw is a good, you know, it's a good thing to get people off the ground, you know, or like a Rachel stomp. If anything, the most effective way of forcing a wake up is just playing Rachel and do the stomp a couple of times. If they by then still don't automatically get up every time, it's on them. And if you know what Rachel can do, 9 out of 10, you're fucking getting up. You're not risking that mix at all. Okay, where the fuck am I, dude? Oh! I mean, I guess that's not good. There's also something here. Okay, that's fucked. Can I climb down? And not die? Oh my god. Oh my god. Wait, how do you get back up then? I guess we just climb. She jumps. It's kind of wild. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh. Okay. Wait, what's over there? And how do you get there? Hold on. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, that's a secret. That's a secret. How do we get there? Photo mode, show me the way. Oh, I found the way, boys. Am I high enough? Are we high enough for this, boys? We are. But actually, I think it's break time. So I think having slow, true force text carries some of what you're looking for. Like even DOA 4 had a mix of 1-hit and 2-hit text, which is 90% 1-hit. Yeah, I think generally speaking, like again, imagine we're at the table, DOA 7 from scratch, you know, just theoretically going about it. Once the defender chooses to lay down, they're like, I am not quickly getting up. Then it should be the attacker's quote unquote turn in a way. Right? And which I think wake up kick already is like, well, it kind of ruins the attacker's turn. So I feel like there should be a way to, you know, to make sure the attacker gets like a first option in, I guess. Maybe not, you know, maybe not like a hard boom, you get up. Except like if you're Tina and you want to go for the throw. The attacker should choose neutral or go, or to offer a guess, go for a setup. The down player should have to guess. And like wake up kick should be one of their guesses. I guess. So I guess currently we already have like a 50-50 there, which is if the attacker chooses to try and go for a force wake up, the counterplay would be a wake up kick. And if the attacker chooses to be neutral, the wake up kick can get blocked and the attacker gets their turn or held or whatever, you know. Should it be a 50-50 though? And I guess that's the problem right now is that choosing for the force wake up, you know, if you win that guess, you get nothing. You just need to guess again. That's kind of ass. So you're naturally inclined to go for neutral. Oh, man. The counter to going for a force is ticking. But we're already past the point of ticking, right? Like ticking to me? Ticking is obviously dependent on the move of the attacker, but ticking should always be like, hey, I'm going to avoid the Oki situation, but I am giving up on an advantage in the sense that, you know, a quick wake up should always lead you to, at best case, neutral, worst case, the opponent has plus frames, which is going to be dependent on the attack they do at the end of their string, combo, whatever. But if you're already down there, there should still be like some kind of play and counterplay. I mean, getting up and wake up and just getting up. Oh, okay. I see what you mean. Yeah. I got confused. I see what you mean with ticking. Yeah. How does it work in DOA 5 again? Like I haven't played DOA 5 in a while. It's not one hit to wake someone up, is it? It can be. That I don't think that's the case at all, but it's not going to be 2 hits either, because then no one would complain. Why am I confused on this? How does that work in DOA 5 again? 5 last round. You get put on the ground and you're immune for a few frames. Then most hits will one-hit tech. Prevents American recency. What? Is it really one-hit tagging? I don't remember that at all. But again, it's one of those things where it just happens in a way. Like, I don't think about it too much. Two people want it. Is it like based on a damage threshold? Like if you do a certain amount of damage, they wake up? I mean, that could be, I guess that's a way to solve it. You know, like specific, just make sure everyone has like specific attacks that are strong enough that it just wakes up in one hit. It's coded per strike. I mean, I guess that's technically the same. I guess, Yeah, they should have just brought that back. They should have just brought that back. It is kind of funny how the more you think about it and talk about it, I guess they kind of had it right. I remember 5 feeling very attacker beneficial. But it's been too long. Maybe I'm just remembering wrong. Who knows? Maybe they chose per move rather than writing logic. There's probably a style guide, but there's no rule. The mid's doing X damage, stun a certain amount. No, but I mean, like, if the opponent is on the ground, I was thinking, like, you know, just make a damage threshold of if you do a low attack with a certain amount of damage, you just wake him up. You know? But I can see the appeal of programming it to specific hits because, you know, it prevents fuckery. It's, you know, like if someone figures out a way to pass the damage threshold in some fuckery way that they didn't account for, then that's like something else they have to fix. Whereas if it's specific moves, you know, anything else is not gonna work. In DOA 6, it's any 2 hits or a string that does 13 or more damage. I didn't even know about that second part. Huh. Did it prevent it like Aeon is 1 PK from forcing? Yeah, because I like doing with Kasumi like 9 KK, but that doesn't tick on its own. Right? But wouldn't that do a 13 damage though? Weird. Thirteen scaled at 30% OTG on the ground. So it's like 45 normal. Ooh, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense that only a few moves. Yeah, because I'm thinking like, well, like fucking Momiji's, well, you know, 1 PK doesn't work. You know, that definitely would do more than 13 normally. But yeah, on the ground, it's scaled. All right. They should get rid of that. Just 2 hits, you know. Give, you know, if a character has something like Momiji's, you know, 1 PK, that should just force you up. Should have pushed a button, bitch. should have counterplayed. Yeah, in DOA 6, I guess the biggest problem is that second hit is the exact same situation again, kinda, right? So it's really not beneficial to just go through two of those situations, you know, and then they made like the whole, well, you can sacrifice your combo damage to get like 1 hit, get the first one for free. But like not really, because they can just, you know, get up as well. So you just did less damage and you're in neutral, so it just sucks. I guess, you know, if, you know, let's say you want to commit to the 2 hits thing, there might be a way to make it that like the first guess is like a proper mix up, you know, each has their options and choices. You go for the low hit. That second guess should be like highly disadvantaged for the person on the ground, you know? If anything, they should just have one option, either tech up or Well, no, they need. Hmm. One is too few, two is too many, 1.5 hits. How? Exactly. That's the issue, right? Getting up after the first hit should force a back tech or something. I should get lunch. Damn, it's like 10 p.m. here. Lunch. That's sick. I guess, huh. I think there's probably something to the idea. Again, if we're making a new DOA, there's probably something to the idea of the first hit on the ground is like a proper situation, equal options, yada yada yada. Once that hit, slap them, you hit them. There might be a second situation, but it should be like heavily in favor of the attacker. Like at that point, whatever option the defender chooses, if they quote unquote win, it should never be to their advantage, right? Like I guess best case should be getting back to neutral at that point. Even then, you've... Huh. Because like if that's your best case, there really is no reason to not do it. So it's a conundrum. It really is a conundrum, right? You are correct. Like 1.5 hits would be perfect. How do we do this? So here's the solution, all right? I figured it out, right? We take a page from Soul Calibur 6 and we say if someone's on the ground and you do like one of those special ground attack moves, you know, like a 2P, like the chop down or like the elbow or some stuff, and that triggers a cutscene, just like in Soul Calibur 6 where you have like the little the little fucking rock paper scissors mini game with the cutscene. God, imagine that would be so disgusting. Oh my lord. Oh, I'm joking. I'm gonna take a break. That was disgusting. I feel like I ruined, I don't know, just the existence of that idea I think makes your day worse. Anyway, give me 5 and I'll be right back. Poof. I am, in fact, back. I forgot to change the category to Tomb Raider. Tomb Raider 1 to 3 Remastered. My. Beautiful. Alright. Boop. There we are. Thinking about the ground game is making me not happy, you know? I'd almost feel like you'd have to go to the drawing board and literally just, without even having concrete options, just literally be like, okay, they're on the ground. Which are the desired situations? You know? Defender can do this. If they win that choice, advantage. If they lose that choice, disadvantage. Now, like, I feel like you should sketch it out, just literally like that. And then start filling in those options. What the heck? Little graphical glitch there. Door sticking through the I'm actually really happy with that offer a guess idea. I've never put it so concisely before. I mean, in the end, that's all what it. What the fuck is with this? There's a switch through the wall here now. What the heck? What's happening? Here we go. That was a shortcut. That's dangerous. That's dangerous. Is there anything else here? I'm hearing noises. Guess this is it, huh? Ooh. Oh, you can climb. What the heck? Wait, we're back here. Fuck. That was fast. Okay, fuck. I guess now we're going here. Do a little save. Shall we? Shall we? Where are you aiming, girl? Oh, I thought I was thought I was going straight for the lava. That's British for lava. Lava. It's quite dangerous over here, isn't it? Oh. Hey, hey. Wait, he's not dropping loot? Not carrying ammo, huh? Man, you know what I was just thinking? I don't know why. I guess it's these enemies. They kind of reminded me of Bigfoot. And I just thought to myself, dude, imagine if you made a game where like the entire game is like, okay, you need to go out and find Bigfoot, right? And it's like one of those typical games, you know, you can like, you know, set up cameras and do like a preparation and maybe co-op, and you can run around and there's like footsteps and like, you know, increasingly you build up to finding him and this and that. But like, he's just not in the game. Like, he's just not in the game. And like, increasingly the game tells you like you're getting closer, you're about to find him, and like you hear the noise, you hear like everything points at to you're about to find him, but you never do. You know, I wonder how long you can lure people into that game until they realize like, I don't think you can win this. You know? And you put like cameras in the game, and the cameras take pictures, but instead of just like showing the Bigfoot character model, it just shows like his paw sticking out from behind a tree or something. But it's like not actually a Bigfoot, it's just like whatever the fuck you want to call it. You know, a dude in a suit. Whoa! What was that, Bigfoot? Oh no, just a dude with a spear. Might as well be Bigfoot. In GTA San Andreas, people thought they heard Bigfoot noises in the rural area woods, but it was a hunger system. Like, man, that Bigfoot is hungry, alright. That Bigfoot is hungry, alright. Oh shit, oh shit, I have an even better idea. Okay, so multiplayer game, right? You have like a couple of players, let's say 3 players or something, not too many, that are like the Bigfoot hunters, right? And they get spawned into a map, right? And there's a 4th player, and the 4th player spawns in, or maybe they can choose before the match, who knows, as either one of 2 things. One, an actual Bigfoot, and his mission is to not get spotted, you know? Like, he needs to not get photographed, hidden, but he like can't stay in one place, some kind of mechanic where he has to like move around at the very least. Like maybe he has to fetch for food or something, whatever, right? Or he spawns in as a human in a Bigfoot suit. And he needs to trick the other players into thinking they're taking pictures of Bigfoot, but they actually, you know, like and you need to do like a mechanic where like if it's a real Bigfoot and like the hunters is like, well, we have pictures, and then they have to find out if it's a real one or not. And if they guess wrong, even if they taken pictures of the real Bigfoot, if they then decide we think it's a fake one, we lose the game. Did we just drop a human? Oh, I thought there was gonna be a Yeti there. You still play AC? Of course I do. I mean, unless you mean Armored Core, then no. But yes, I play Assassin's Creed. Yes. Or shit, let them pick. 4 hunters, 2 people who pick a combination of real and/or fake. You played Shadow and Rise of the Tomb Raider? Yes. In fact, I 100%ed both of those games. A lot of switches here. Oh, dude, we're just setting up an arena? Dude, is Lara evil? Are we evil? And why is the answer yes? Yeah, we got him, boys. Oh, here we go. Okay, what does this do? They better not be coming from me. Which you like more? Ugh, that's a tough one. That is a tough one. Okay, so nuanced answer. I guess ads are in progress. I'll wait until the ads are done in case I got stuck watching them. I'll wait a minute. I'll wait a jiffy. So Bigfoot the game, right? I mean, I guess the picking 2 of them, I don't know. It definitely might alleviate like having one player doing all the heavy lifting in terms of hiding or whatever. There needs to be like a compelling way of like deciding. I don't know, there should be a way to like properly identify. That's probably going to be the hardest thing. Like, because you can't just make the character models look different, because then people will learn which character model looks like which one, and they can just pick them out every time. So the costume Bigfoot versus the real Bigfoot need to be different. What am I saying? They need to be the same model, but then there needs to be some kind of gameplay mechanic to which you can identify them or something. But then also the Bigfoot and fake Bigfoot players should have options to like obfuscate which one they are. Yeah, we are literally developing a whole ass game now. That's crazy. That being said, those kind of games do really well on Steam. If you can figure out an idea like that and it takes off on Steam, like you're gonna have like an instant success game. Did I have to shoot him? I don't... Actually, he might be friendly. Let me go back. He might actually be friendly. Hold on. Oh yeah, break time's over. I was gonna answer the question. Which one do I like more? Shadow of the Tomb Raider or Rise of the Tomb Raider? Difficult to answer. I like both of them very much. I think if I'm gonna put a score on it, in a way, I would score Rise higher than Shadow. Because I think it's like a more tight experience. I think the story, the progression, all that stuff is like a little more, you know, it's just a better experience in general. However, I do like in Shadow of the Tomb Raider, like in general, the puzzling and the tomb raiding part of the game is much better there compared to Rise. You know, like Rise is the better game overall, but I do prefer like the general exploring and puzzling and that kind of stuff in Shadow way more. I think Shadow suffers a little bit from these guys attacking me? No, right? Suffers a little bit from the environments looking very similar. Right, whereas in Rise, there's a little more variety. It's still, you know, it can still be better, but I would say Rise is, like, of the trilogy, if you look at the Survivor trilogy, I would say Rise in general is the better one. Then Shadows, like right beneath it, Shadows. And I think the first one of the trilogy, you know, Tomb Raider, what's it actually called? Tomb Raider 2013 or whatever. I think that one's the worst of the bunch, and actually by a lot. Like, it's quite a bit worse than Shadows. Shadows is Assassin's Creed. Shadow is Tomb Raider. I think the first one in the trilogy is definitely the worst one. But Rise and Shadow are both pretty high up there for me. Shadows the Hedgehog, exactly. My favorite character from the movies. Ghosts of Shadows. Dude, imagine imagine internally if instead of Ghost of Yotai they were like Shadow of Tsushima. Right? Like, dude, thank God they were fucking like, we'll pick a different area. You know, people have seen Tsushima. We'll do Yotai. And we can just call it Ghost again. Where do I go? Hello? 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 Can I climb in this? It doesn't do shit. Maybe I need to... Wait, there's an item in the middle. Ah! What the fuck? Who is shooting me? Huh? Huh? Who the fuck is shooting? Is there like an invisible guy or something? Also, where did the Yeti come from? Yeah, someone's definitely shooting at me. Oh, up there! Dude, I think we're onto something with the Bigfoot game. Alright? How quickly can you slap something together like that in Unreal Engine? You know, it doesn't need to be much. Look at all these games like Lethal Company and whatever, you know? Or that new one where you have to like take like pictures of disasters. There's like a bunch of those games these days on Steam. And like, you know, if they hit, dude. You know, like a couple of streamers pick it up. They start playing it. All streamers pick it up. They start playing it. And then your game can die, you know? Nobody cares after like a week of streamers playing it. But like, you've made your money. You're off to the next one. Is there a DVD that died that we could buy the rights? I mean, technically the Friday 13th game died because of the licensing stuff. But I doubt that's the amount of money you have to buy the license to Friday the 13th. I still think there's like an irony in that Friday 13th game being like, it started out as a game that was just like inspired, right? It was just like an inspired by game, and it was like on Kickstarter or some stuff, and then some publisher saw that and was like, hey, good idea, and we can actually get the real license. So they got the real license. Very cool, very sick. And then there's like a lawsuit over the rights, which meant that as long as the lawsuit was happening, nothing could happen with the license. So those devs were like, well, we can patch the game, but we cannot make additional content, because that means, you know, an addition to the license that they had. So, and we can't do that because the license is in limbo now and nothing new can be done with it. And that's how the game died. Because it was plenty popular. So the great irony being, if they just never went for the real license and just kept it as like, you know, inspired by Friday the 13th, they would probably still be around. Hello, love Tomb Raider. Yes, me too. Tomb Raider is sick. I hear the Bigfoot. Is the plural of Bigfoot big feet? If there's multiple Bigfoot, would those be big feet? Yes. If that's the case, does that mean if you are a big feet enthusiast that it's really hard to Google and get to the place you actually want to be? Because I imagine if you Google pictures of big feet, I think there's a slightly larger community that has that term on lock. I will not Google big feet. Where to find how to photograph big feet. Don't push me down, bitch. Ah! Ah! Dude, I asked nicely and he didn't listen. I was like, hey, sir. Good sir, Mr. Big Feet. Wow, did I not save? Uh-oh. Oh, boy, oh, I did not save. Oy, oy, oy. Oy, oy, oy. Wait, did I save? Wait. Hold on. Hold up. Ba-dum, bum, ba-bum. Ain't she aim up? Wait, why is it not open? Hold on, maybe I need to flip both. I have another game idea. Nice, let's hear it. It's another idea. Different big feet. Different big feet game. I feel like the Bigfoot game, the name of the game should just be Big Feet. I think that's gonna draw a crowd. Just saying. How did that shit open? Or was it when I picked this up that it opened up? Hey, Miga. Bro! How do we get there? Oh. Oh, oh. Oh, I hate that feeling. You know when a sneeze is coming and then it's not coming? Oh. I want my sneezes to come. But no, do you know that feeling when like you feel a sneeze about to happen but then it don't? Now I'm just with this fucked feeling. Oh. It's the worst. Exactly. It sucks. Blue balls in your nose. Yeah, because it's like, I can feel like the tears in my eyes. Like the pressure. Oh, horrible. Dude, I don't know what it is. This year, spring has been fucking kicking my ass. Like, I've always been like, let's use the word like sensitive to the spring pollen and whatever. But this year, it's really been rough. I don't know why even. Go in your kitchen and sniff some seasoning. What, to trigger it? And maybe I should look at the light. That's apparently something that works. Look at how fugly. And I am talking about the game, alright? Don't get any funny ideas. Might have to be sunlight. I don't know. For me, the lighting never worked. I know for my wife it works. But for me, it has never worked. They're pissed. Okay, what's like my save option? I guess I can jump back and forth. I'm jumping back and forth. Oh, it's a camera flip. Oh my god. Hoppa. By the way, has anyone watched the new season of Black Mirror? I found it to be pretty good. You know, like the last couple ones, I guess since they moved to Netflix, you know, I feel like the quality has been generally lower, you know. There's always like a couple of hits. I feel like it used to be like mostly hits. But this season seems to be like a pretty good one overall. I haven't watched any Black Mirror. Oh shit. Oh shit. I would still recommend it, even though, you know, the episodes are definitely hit or miss. The early seasons are mostly hits. There's like very few whiffs. Never seen episode either. What the hell? What the hell? I've seen some OG Twilight Zone and some 90s Outer Limits. Damn. Damn. Twilight Zone. Love it. I mean, I guess a lot of it usually boils down to, look, technology, scary. But at the same time, there's been so many episodes throughout the history of the show where it's like, man, this technology would be really scary, huh? And then like now we have it, so it's like, well, why is that there? You can never pick that up, can you? Unless we're draining. Are we gonna drain the lava? Also, huh? Huh? Is this not the way? It is a peculiar map. Like, where do we even go from here? We jump down here? Is there like somewhere to go? Aha! Aha. Isn't this where we started though? It absolutely is. So this is just like an alternate route. Well, okay, don't jump. Maybe just slide down. It seems like that's a slide, but there was like one of those buttons. If that counts as a button, that might be it. Because down there, that counted as a button. The thing on top, maybe that's what we need to get.
Uh-huh.
Not bad. Oh. It's alive! What's the point of this if you can just walk next to it? I guess that's the point. They can push you in. Why is she putting it away? What is she doing? What? What? Uh-oh. Almost shortcut. Almost. We're one tile off. I don't know if I need to hit that, but it feels like yes.
Uh-huh.
Número dos. Number 3.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And this is a bizarre stage. Okay, more spikes.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. Oh, I bet we're gonna have to run back. It's like, you know, why is that the point? But maybe it's like a timed run back. It feels like those traps are a little useless, though. Let's save when we're up here. Feels like a good time to do it. Don't want to push our luck. Good morning.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Love how that's tied to a pickup.
Uh-huh.
That's not good. Okay, did I miss anything here? Because it feels like there was more shit. Because yeah, there's a ladder. I guess that's where we need to go, though there's also this. I don't know what's there, but this feels like the proper way forward. So I might as well check out the little dinky gate. Jump! Wait, what was that game you were talking about? You said you had another idea for a game, and then you just said North Sentinel Island, and I'm missing. I thought to myself, what does he mean? And then we kind of moved on. What do you mean, North Sentinel Island? Is there some lore I don't know about? North Sentinel Island is the island where the indigenous people kill outsiders show up. Oh. Wait, is this the start of the map? I remember this place. Wait, are we all the way back at the beginning? That's crazy. And also, why would you want to go back here? Is there a reason to be back here? I'm gonna say no. No! I mean, that is what I said. Already? Okay, what the fuck? I'm gonna be way back. Oh shit, wrong weapon. Hurry up, girl. Yow, yow, yow. So the idea is you play as one of the islanders and then missionaries, and YouTubers show up and you scare them off or kill them if they're stubborn. Oh shit. Yo, actually, and make it like a massively multiplayer thing where like a streamer can go in as like the missionary and like their entire chat can be the islanders. And you'd be like running around in forests and shit, hiding. And there's like 1,000 people looking. I know it's probably in poor taste. Yes. But you can also just make them nondescript people. Don't need to put a name on it, you know? Russ, but you kill Logan Paul, damn. Just call it like the Hunger Games. Except everyone's a team. Except for one player who's on his own. Oh, do I have this? No. Why couldn't you give us a little no? Just a little no. You could do the most dangerous game where Elon Musk tries to hunt you for sport, but you reverse it and kill him. He's like... he's following you in a Tesla. Wow, Tesla. Much computer. Didn't Tesla stock completely crash recently? I feel like I read something like that. The stock went down like 70% year over year or some shit. Which, I mean, you know, kind of makes sense. Given that he's just pissed some people off politically. It's down a bunch, but has been overinflated for years. Yeah. Doesn't he like, doesn't Tesla sell like a lot of their, I forgot what the English term for it is. But like, I guess I could do it all along. I just missed. What the fuck? Wait, that's behind me? Dude, cameraman, you could have warned me. The door closes! You motherf... Ah! Whoa! No, girl! What the... Whoa! Whoa, I'm alive! He can't come down, that's crazy. We can just shoot him now? Uh-oh. The controller is low. Damn, this gun's pretty strong. That was it? Alright, that's an ending. That's an ending. That's it? Yeah, I guess so. We've killed the mythological creature, I guess. That's good. No movie. I mean, this was the bonus content, you know. This was DLC back in like the 90s, so... Someone in that credit just had a very scary name. At least in Dutch. That was... Senior Tableau Analyst? I was about to say they had Tableau back in the day, but I guess these are the credits for the remaster. I was like, what the fuck? Tableau in the 90s? I mean, maybe. I don't know how long Tableau exists already.
Saber Interactive.
CEO, CO, CFO, CTO, dude. I love these made-up names. Comrade Croft. Wait, what about the, I thought there was another bonus stage. What the heck? Yeah. Yeah, Kingdom, and then there's bonus Nightmare in Vegas. How do you get there? Oh, you need to find all secrets. So I guess we're not doing Nightmare in Vegas today or ever. Wait, that means we're done. And the stream's exactly over, which means, you know, we are looking good for a DOA stream on Friday. Yo. Surely you can cheat to unlock. I don't actually know. I think you can, but if certain cheats disable trophies, so you kind of need to watch out, you know, especially if you do a cheat and then save your game, you're kind of locked out on trophies altogether. Actually, you know, you bring up a good question. Tomb 2, Golden Mask, Nightmare in Vegas. Cheat? Doesn't look like there's a cheat. Man. Nightmare in Vegas is the 5th level of the Golden Mask. Find all the treasures. In it, Lara travels to Las Vegas on holiday, but finds a show that goes wrong. It is presumed that this was Lara's bad dream after her adventure looking for the dagger. It's crazy. Shown by a strange T-Rex and the Guardian of the Kingdom, which she encountered during her past adventures, mysteriously appearing in the apartment in the middle of the night, as well as various strange rooms appearing and Winston following her. This stage sounds insane and sick. Holy shit. Las Vegas hotel visit is no shot. Oh my god, this screenshot is crazy. That's insane. This is a screenshot of the... Wait, hold on. Wrong window. This is a screenshot of the original game, like the not remastered version. That's crazy. This is supposed to be Vegas. Wild. Alright, good shit, boys and girls. Good stream. Perfectly timed once again. As I definitely always do. Not seen enough. Where are the pimps? Yeah, that definitely would have flown in 98? Wait, that means I can play number 3. Yay, let's go. Had a casino game for the Game Boy. What's the first casino game I've ever played? my god, is the first time I've played casino in a video game Dead or Alive Volleyball? I mean, I definitely learned blackjack and stuff as a kid. But like, as not like in the gambling way, but just the game itself. And like roulette and stuff. But like an actual video game? Pokemon? Yeah, the original Pokemon had slots. Yeah, I mean, you could cheat at those. I mean, cheat, you manually... You could basically always get the perfect thing. And that was just farming money as well. And Porygon, I guess. Yeah, so slots, probably Pokemon then. I'm thinking. Maybe on PS1? I don't think so. I can't imagine. Maybe on like the Sega Mega Drive in like one of those collection games. Maybe there was like, honestly, I don't think so. Yeah, probably Pokemon was the first slots. Maybe on like a Flash game website or some shit. That could be it. Yeah, probably Pokemon. Which is kind of fucked up to think about, because like, how old was I? That was Pokemon Blue. When did that shit came out? Pokemon Blue Europe release date 99. I for sure got it later. So let's say I'm like in the 2000s. So I must have been 11. So I learned the concept of gambling at 11, boys. Very normal, very sane. God. Dude, and now kids just grew up with that shit. With loot boxes. I guess the first gambling... I guess one of the earlier instances of gambling probably was Pokemon cards. Because I'm pretty sure when Pokemon became like the hot new thing... I mean, in our family, we didn't have a Game Boy yet. I think Pokemon was the game when we purchased the Game Boy. And I had to share with my brother initially. You know, we couldn't play at the same time. We had to like share. But even before, because I remember my brother, when we first got the Game Boy, he got Pokemon Red. And then he played that. And I, for a while, didn't get Pokemon Blue until I like saved up through birthdays and whatever. Right? But while I didn't have Pokemon Blue, I already was getting like Pokemon cards. So for sure that's the first real Gamba, you know? That's like the OG loot boxes, you know? Pokemon boosters. Base set. First edition. If you only knew to sleeve them back then, you know, keep them nice, pack fresh. God. Oh. Now they're like in some box with like a rubber, you know, like a elastic band wrapped around a bunch of cards, making a nice indent. Probably during, you know, by the age of it, the rubber has like completely disintegrated. And it's just like completely fucked. Good times. Good times. I feel like that's always the case though, right? You know? Things only get valuable in that way, you know, things only become collectibles when it's originally there. It isn't considered a collectible. Like, because everything that's marketed now as a collectible, you know, like Funko Pops or whatever the fuck, are not gonna be actual collectibles. It's always shit like, you know, oh, original comic books that were like throwaway bullshit. And then the people who did keep them in nice condition, now it's like super rare. You know, or like with the original Magic the Gathering stuff, same thing, right? Everything made to be collected isn't exactly, you know. So I'm thinking now, what do I own that is cool but is like not made to be collected? Maybe, you know, by the time I'm about to die, you know, I can pay off my house loan. I can pay off my mortgage. Yay, economy. Anyhow, let me wrap up here. Yeah, good shit. Finished the game, did some yapping. Some yippity yapping. We'll play DOA on Friday. I could be persuaded to play DOA 5, but I'm only willing to do that if I know there's gonna be at least like 1 or 2 people in chat that are gonna join. Otherwise, you know, I don't want to sit in an empty lobby waiting for randoms to show up, which basically amounts to maybe Clearlight is there, right? Whereas I feel like with DOA 6, there's like more chance to get like random people still. I don't know. Maybe I'm making that up. But yeah, DOA, good idea. Alrighty, boys and girls, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for keeping me company, as always. Yeah, we'll see each other on Friday. DOA. Alright, so take care. We'll see each other then. Bye-bye.